This is yet another story where a person who was a caretaker of a child came out and did an interview, and they made it seem like they didn't know what was going on with this child, where this child is, what happened, tried to play the innocent role, put on a sad crying face, and come to find out that the person that you guys see on my screen probably had everything to do with this disappearance and the eventual death of this child, because they did find the remains of this baby in this story. I think they're still waiting for a little bit more confirmation, but I think this is actually his body. I think they're getting ready to do DNA testing. There's so much that we got to talk about. How he was found, what we believe that his mom did. But before we get into the details, here's what I got to do. I have to give you guys a disclaimer, and I actually recorded it this time. So here's your disclaimer. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. How about that? You guys like that? Now I'm not going to waste my breath saying that again. I could just play it one time and we're good to go. So the mother of Quinton Simon, and this has been a long story, and thank you to everybody who's been talking about these. So many YouTubers, content creators have posted about this story. She has officially been charged and arrested with his death. Okay, that's pretty indicative. They believe that she's responsible after they have found the remains of who they believe to be the 20-month-old baby. Leilani Simon, who's the mother, looked like she's trying to cry on here, but you know they never produce real tears, reported Quinton missing in early October, stating that he had vanished from his playpen at their Savannah, Georgia home. After a week-long search for the boy, the Chatham County Police Department announced a sad discovery at their arrest of Leilani. The Chatham County Police Department has arrested 22-year-old Leilani Simon and charged her with murder in connection with the disappearance and death of her son, 20-month-old Quinton Simon. It wrote on Twitter on Monday, and you guys can find that on their Twitter page. Give me just a second. Boom. Let's keep going. It added, Leilani Simon, the mother, was taken into custody a short time ago, and I'm getting this article from people.com, so thank you for the article. Took her into custody a short time ago and is being transported to the Chatham County Detention Center, where she'll be held while she awaits a bond hearing. We do not anticipate any other arrest in the connection with this case. First of all, that's a murder charge. Usually, when the prosecutor issues a murder charge, they believe that they have strong enough evidence to prove without the shadow of a doubt that this person is guilty. They have evidence to point towards this person's guilt. That's usually going to end in a life sentence, but it could also result in the death penalty in certain states in certain situations. Now, let's keep going. Leilani reported her son missing from their home on October the 5th of this year. Since that time, millions of people have followed Quinton's case and been awaiting answers. The department continued its statement and told the community more information will be available soon. Chief Jeffrey M. Hadley will hold a news briefing. However, we wanted to report this development to you without delay, and I'm thankful that they did that. We're deeply saddened by this case, but we're thankful that we are one step closer to justice for little Quinton, the statement concluded. On Facebook, Chatham Police said investigators found what appeared to be human remains at a local waste management landfill on Monday. And I'm actually getting ready to give you guys some details about that, so you might want to brace yourself, because I want y'all to understand how much they had to go through to find this boy's body. And I want y'all to understand how disgusting this woman is. I don't know why her face reminds me of like a melted crayon. Like, this girl looks slower than a bottle of molasses. Like, she looks like, you know, like the water bottle ain't all the way full, right? It looked like the elevator don't go all the way to the top. Can y'all agree with that? This woman looked like she's a few tacos short of a combination plate. This woman looks like she's a few light bulbs short of a lit room. It just looked like something is wrong with her. These people had to go through the worst thing ever just to find him. Like, if y'all look at this, this doesn't even begin to tell you what they had to go through to find it. So let me give y'all the details. But they found what they believe to be human remains, and they're doing additional testing to confirm that it's indeed this baby. During the landfill search, law enforcement officers meticulously combed through 1.2 million pounds of trash in 30 days. I feel like I need to repeat that. This woman, this alleged mother, made the police and these search teams. And do y'all know what type of stuff people throw away in garbage cans and garbage bags? Stuff we throw away every day. Do y'all know what that smells like? That smell can haunt you. That smell can linger on you. To be real, they have those hazmat suits on because that smell can actually kill you. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. A landfill is very hazardous. And these people said, F that. F that. We're going to find this baby no matter what. And they searched through 1.2 million pounds in 30 days. The working conditions were grueling and hazardous, and searchers knew that the chances of finding him were historically low. Here's another part that I want to talk about. There's bacteria. Goodness, just they're full of methane. Thank you. Methane gases, which can actually be explosive. But check this out. Even while they were searching through 1.2 million pounds of trash, they say that there was only a 5% chance of actually finding him. 5% out of 100. That is very small. And guess what? They found him. We believe that they found him. Don't y'all think that's impressive? And I want y'all to think about, if the death of this baby meant this much to people to find out where he was, to find out, to get the real true story, that they were not going to rest until they found him. If his death, and I want y'all to hear me from my heart, because I talk about this all the time when it comes to GoFundMe's, so I want y'all to understand my message, because I hate repeating myself. And I hate people not understanding what I think is a simple message. We don't believe in people using children for the benefits that they could collect off of these kids. And what do we call that? Hashtag babies for benefits. We want people to love children and respect them. And I think that my voice matters just as much as you guys do. And I think that we should understand the power of what we say. Our words matter. And if it mattered so much to find him in death, one would also have to ask, why wasn't his life valued just as much? I'm going to take a pause right there. Just like cupcaking, we're going to talk about her also. Thank you. Camille Cupcake McKinney. Very similar situation. If we are going to go through all of this to find dead children, then why can't we respect them equally? We should respect them more. We should respect children more. And if I'm saying something y'all don't agree with, please let me know. Just tell me. But I believe, may God rest his soul, thank you. I believe that children matter more in life than they do in death. But I'm just saying, if we're going to go through this for the death of a child, why can't we go through this for the life of a child? If we're going to donate somebody $100,000 damn dollars for a GoFundMe to give this child the best funeral ever that has ever been known to man, then why can't we take that same $100,000 and invest it into these children's life, invest it into these children's schools, invest it into our roads, invest it into their education, right? Invest it into their food. Too many of these children are eating bull crap that is not substantial for sustenance. Those are big words for me. Knock those out the park. We feed children food that is not substantial for sustenance. Their bodies are being fed trash. And you know what's so funny about trash? That this baby was thrown in the trash. And if this mother treated this baby like trash, then there was somebody that would have treasured this child. If you didn't love this child, which clearly you didn't, you could have given the child up. She could have given the child to her mother. She could have given the child to the biological father. I guarantee you the biological father wouldn't have done this. But she didn't. Because she knew that she had custody and she felt like it's my world, it's my way, and I can do what I want, y'all, right? In a little flea bag head of hers. This woman is crap. Absolute crap. She's worse than the landfill that she dumped her son in for these people to look through for 30 goddamn days. Isn't that stupid? That's just flat out stupid. Do y'all want to see her interview? I think I have it here. I'm going to skip some of this. She's charged with murder, concealing the death of another, and false statements or writings that conceal facts or fraudulent documents in matters of government, which are all felonies. She's also been charged with false report of a crime, which is a misdemeanor. It's not clear if she has a hired attorney who can speak on her behalf. They said they did not immediately, I could skip that part. Authorities named Leilani as a prime suspect roughly a week after she reported him missing. A day later, she spoke out and said that she was hopeful that Quinton was still alive. I'm going to show y'all just how little she cares about this child. Let me give you guys the fair usage, which I also have recorded, because I don't want to keep repeating the same thing. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Like I said, for some people, you might not understand where I'm coming from, so I just pray that if you listen with an open mind and an open heart, that maybe that my words will matter to you, that we continue to keep spreading these stories. If you will hit that thumbs up, it'll help us do that. You could also copy the link and share it and send this video to somebody. Post it in a group because we want more people to start advocating for our babies. So I want y'all to take a look at this. This was actually really interesting. So I want to give a shout out to a couple of people. I'm not sure who recorded this video, but I wanted to shout them out for actually going out here and protesting in front of these people's house, because I think everybody had a suspicion that the mom had something to do with it. Also want to give a shout out to Molly Go Lightly, my friend, who also does very, very similar things, will show up and protest. That takes finances to do that. That takes energy to do that. And that takes a heart to do something like that. And I'm just so proud that people care enough to do things like that, because not only is it your right to protest, but also I think it absolutely makes a difference. Let's take a look.
Leilani, it's Andy Cole with WJCL. Did you kill Quinton? Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
I'd love to hear about it.
No.
I want to tell your story.
No, we don't care about telling a story.
Why don't you tell their story? Because they call my grandma.
That's all y'all got to say?
No.
I'd love to hear about it.
No.
I want to tell your story.
No, we don't care about telling a story.
Why don't you tell their story? Because they call my grandma.
That's all y'all got to say? All right.
believed.
Schrader spoke
24th. And when I did that interview, Chatham County Police had already said that they believed Quinton was dead, had named Leilani their sole suspect, and had started searching a local landfill for Quinton's remains.
I want y'all to hear this fake interview again. And I think a couple more of these videos are going to show it again. But I want y'all to hear this.
In that interview, Leilani never outright stated whether
And if you guys are watching, do me a favor and click that thumbs up if you would, please. If you're listening, please click that thumbs up to share this video, okay? Thank you.
she was guilty or innocent. She maintained that she was broken up over Quinton's death and disappearance, visibly crying both when the
What the hell did this fool just say? Look, and I'm going to tell y'all, I remember when she said this in the interview. I hope y'all heard what she just said. I'm going to back it up so you could hear. She said, whoever has him, I hope they're feeding him and taking care of him. And look, and her mom on the right-hand side, the grandmother, turned her head. She's just like, I know she was probably thinking, I know this little dumb B-I-T-C-H can't be that damn dumb. What did she just say? Can y'all run that back? Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Let's hear that again.
cut off her mother to say she hoped he was alive.
We want him found happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want. We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and they are hoping that, you know, happy and alive. We want him back in our arms, holding us. That's what we want. We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and they are hoping that, you know, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby.
Oh my God, what? Are y'all hearing this? Let's back this up like a U-Haul truck. Wow. I want y'all to think about that. Think about how scary that is. And look at her mom. Her mom completely turned her head on her. She's just like, yeah, my daughter's really that stupid. She's really that stupid. She said, I hope he's in a house somewhere being fed and being taken care of and that he's happy. All the while, she knows that she caused the death of her child and caused him to be in a landfill where search crews had to search through 1.2 million pounds of trash to find his body. No, ma'am, he wasn't in somebody's fucking house, laughing and eating and playing. Do you think that's what people do when they kidnap children? I hope he's happy. That's what people who kidnap children do with the children. Right? Is that what people do with kidnapped kids? Last time I checked, I think you can Google search some of these scenarios and find out what really happens to children who are kidnapped. They are not playing with them and laughing with them and changing diapers and taking them to daycare, bitch. That's not what's happening. Let alone that dumb ass scenario, excuse my language. But to know what you probably did to this kid, and I don't ever think that she's going to actually tell us, they're going to have to look over a baby's body who's probably been in a landfill for at least 30 days and guess. They're going to guess, in their best estimation, what he actually died from. Isn't that stupid?
Maybe they thought they were his savior, but it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on Max Deek Night. Leilani Simon will spend her second straight night in jail tonight after being charged with murdering her 20-month-old son, Quinton. Simon reported her son missing more than 6 weeks ago. Police arrested her.
And I just caught with somebody in the chat. I did hear her say that. She said maybe they think they're his savior. I did hear that. Savior? So here's what a feeble mind thinks. A feeble mind would think that using the words, maybe they thought they were his savior because you believed in your mind, that's your subconscious coming out, that he needed a savior to be saved, which means he was in harm's way. And if he was in harm's way, who might have caused that? Probably the person speaking the words and saying the words, child's savior. That's a huge red flag.
Yesterday, after finding human remains in a Chatham County landfill. Right now, the FBI is conducting DNA tests to confirm that those remains are Quinton's. Tonight, many are awaiting for Leilani to make her first court appearance on tomorrow. We're also hearing more from people close to Quinton.
Let me take a pause real quick. I noticed some people in the chat are saying this. So let me ask, because I'm sure some people that watch this on the replay are probably going to say the same thing. How many of you guys believe that the grandmother probably knew more than what she said? Because to be honest, I'm kind of on the fence about that. My heart wants to say, I don't think she knew. I don't think the grandmother knew. But I wouldn't put it past her either, though. Does that make sense? I think the mother is probably 100% guilty. Leilani, I believe she's guilty. But grandma, I'm just not so sure that she just didn't know anything. Reason I say that is because she seems like she's, well, I'm going to be down there with her and we're going to find this kid and I'm on my daughter's side, right? And a lot of times, I'm just throwing this out there because I know some people in the chat might agree. Let me know if y'all agree or not. We're live right now. You can post your comments in the comments section. If you're subscribed to the channel, you got to subscribe first. But we have seen too many times where the grandparents or other parents involved in these situations knew something, saw something, and didn't say anything or even participated in the death or missing of that child. The disappearance of that child. Just throwing that out there.
There's been a strong reaction to the arrest, including from morning when she received a text that she would.
Somebody in the chat is saying that grandma had custody and left the child with the mom. So I'm not sure. Somebody else said the same thing. Grandma had custody and left the kids with the daughter. Ooh. Wow. Okay, now that changes a lot. Because like I said, some of y'all might be a little more familiar with this. There is a ton of information. This has been going on for a little while now. Let me tell you why, if that's the case, if the grandmother had legal guardianship, if she had custody, if she was the custodial parent at the time, because for whatever reason, maybe the mom wasn't suitable. Maybe the mom had the child or children taken away from her and they had to place the child with a kinship. If they gave it to the grandmother and she now has custody, grandma had custody of all mama's 3 kids. What? So let me ask y'all this, because I'm not sure, because the reports didn't specify this unless I missed it. Why did she lose custody? Leilani knew that she was going to have to pay child support to grandma. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Now that I did see. I saw somebody on Facebook post that. Oh, goodness. We got a lot to talk about now. She had drug issues. Huh. Okay. I'm just going off of what people are saying in the chat. As far as a scenario. So for drugs, she lost the kids because of drugs. So here's the thing. Have y'all ever heard me talk about the Thug Zoo? You said Houseway? Let me talk about this. We've talked about the Thug Zoo, and I want y'all to remember that thug, the word T-H-U-G, does not refer to a skin color. The word thug is an action, a behavior by a person who is a non-law-abiding citizen. Thuggish behavior. And we talk about people who take their children to the Thug Zoo, take them inside the thug lion cage. This has been a AFC colloquialism for the past 4 years. So just so y'all know, this has been my thing for a minute. Talking about the thug zoo. Yes, I'm going to get some thug zoo shirts. Like crossed out or something. I think I might have to do that. If you take your child and put your child in the thug lion cage and that thug lion does what a thug lion does and murders and mauls your child, then I think that you should be held responsible. So if you had custody and you knew that little sorry bitch of a daughter of yours was not a suitable parent and you left the kids with her anyway, and you were privy to the information, you know that your daughter is not a suitable mother. Knowing that information should be the key reason why you should be arrested if you let the kids in her custody, knowing that a person who's on drugs or deals drugs or has association with drugs and not a suitable parent, so you lose custody, that person should never place those children around those kids. So the death of that child should fall on the person who had custody. So let's revamp what we just said. Should grandma do time? I believe if all of what y'all just said was true, if that scenario is real, then yes. If she left the kids with an unsuitable mother and that unsuitable mother killed the kid, yes, they both should serve time, period. And she should definitely lose custody of the other kids.
Wouldn't need to babysit that day.
You wonder what he had to endure from the time that he left my house.
Good job, chat. That's why we got the live chat. Good job, y'all. I really, really think that's dope that everybody is really following these stories. And hit that thumbs up. We're doing really good. We want to try to get 1 thumb up for everybody watching. If y'all could just help us do that, subscribe, and then you can chat after that. Okay, here we go.
House till the morning when I got the text. You know, I can't even imagine. I don't want to think about it because it's
this, because I'm still not real sure. What is the theory on how he ended up disappearing? Because here's what I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess that she probably got mad, beat this baby up, he died, and then she threw him in the trash to hide him. That's the scenario that makes sense to me. She was probably in a drug-induced rage, killed him, and then was like, oh, I got to get rid of the body, and then act like he disappeared. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like that makes sense. Why did she leave him? So that's actually a 2-part question. I have 2 answers for your one question. Why did she leave him there? First of all, it could have been work. Maybe she had to go run some errands. Maybe she needed a break, number 1. The second possibility is because this is why it's so difficult for family members in general to get custody of these kids. CPS and DHS ought to know this, which is why you got to be real careful who you give the kids custody to. Because a lot of times they're going to feel sorry for these mothers. They're going to be like, well, she's a mother. Of course she should have access to her kids. I think she's suffered enough. Yes, she should be able to see her kids. They get on that emotional side. They feel sorry for their ass and let them have access to the kids. They're not thinking logically at that point. They're thinking emotionally at that point. Does that make sense? Those are the 2 scenarios. Either she needed to take a break to go do something, go run some errands, or the other part of that is because she maybe felt like she's the mother. Maybe she's learned her lesson and she needs to be around her kids. Either way, it's wrong.
Mother of a Savannah toddler who went missing more than a month ago.
Oh, and y'all said she was being evicted in order to pay child support. Woo! I forgot about that part. Okay, so let's address the child support. Do we have any men, any fathers in the chat? I know we got a lot of awesome mothers. I know a lot of women tend to listen to this channel, and I'm so thankful for everybody who supports what we do. Let me ask, do we have any men? Do we have any fathers out there outside of myself? It is commonplace in our society, in our world, for men to have children with women, whether they want them or not. If you have sex with a woman, if she want to produce the kid, she gonna produce the kid. Her body, her choice, right? But it's funny how it's her body, her choice, but it's both of y'all responsibility, even though she gets to solely make the choice, but you got to live with whatever she chooses. But then again, if that's the rules, then fellas, we got to do better, period. And that goes for me too. That absolutely goes for me too. If I don't like the rules, don't play the game, right? Don't let the little head outthink the big head. Ain't that the way that the shit works? So a lot of y'all think that I just be pointing the finger at everybody else. No, I'll point the finger at myself. But at the same time, most men, and especially black men, because black men statistically, and shout out to Tommy for this statistic, most black men pay child support more consistently than any other race of people that are on child support. That is a fact. More consistent about paying it, which means there are a lot of other people out there that just flat out aren't paying it and flat out aren't being parents. But at least they're not going out killing kids. See what I'm saying? We have this heavy burden of financial responsibility. It can crush your life. It can ruin your life. It can make it to where you can't even afford to support yourself to do basic things. And the reason I say that is because child support can get to a point, which is really why I believe that in America, y'all need to stop. And I'm trying to tell y'all now, and I don't want to get flagged for saying this. Hear me when I say this, ladies, and my mothers, my parents. Hear me when I say this. Mark my words when I tell you the last thing that you want is more government involved in your business. You think that it might be just this one thing, this one issue. It's usually not how it works. It's usually a rabbit's hole. It's usually Pandora's box. When you open Pandora's box, there's a lot more that comes with that, right? Thank you. Somebody said, say it loud. I'm trying to tell you. You don't want more government in your business. You look at that as a win. When you might win a battle but lose the war. Which one would you rather do? Would you rather win a battle? Or would you rather win the war? Can I get a 100 on that? Please. I'd much rather win the war. I can take losing a battle. Because I want y'all to remember that this is still about the kids. The government didn't lay down with y'all, wasn't the third party in bed filming y'all while y'all sitting there plugging each other, right? They weren't in your business while you were sitting there, like, take that, girl. Oh, yeah. The government was not laying in your Tempur-Posturepedic bed, right? Yes? They didn't get to get theirs out all on your girl too. They didn't get none of that. But you know, it's funny how they get to get some of the benefits of your money though. Ooh. They get what's called, what is it called? A commission. They get paid. This is a business move for them. So they can turn this into a $1 billion industry. It already is. Isn't that something? And using y'all to do it, and you look at the man and the man looking at the woman, and y'all mad at each other, when in all actuality, you ought to be mad at the who? The middleman. Ladies, talk to me. Look, tell me what I'm saying, something that's factually inaccurate. Hit that thumbs up, by the way, if you agree. If you don't agree, just tell me why you disagree. Like, Let me tell y'all a little ejaculation text. Oh my God, you need to stop. But let me tell y'all something. A real part about me is I will think some crazy stuff, and sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to just say it. I know they're going to think I'm crazy as hell, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to act it out. I'm going to make the sound, okay? I'm going to make the damn sound, right? Because that's what y'all sound like when y'all be in bed. Anyway, so instead of us looking at each other as partners in crime and we ought to try to figure this thing out together, we're looking towards a third party, and the third party just sitting there like, money, 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 money. Making paper off of us being mad at each other. Isn't that something? And the kids suffer. Is that how I sound? Yes. Yes. That is accurate, ma'am. So we look at each other like the enemy, and let's get back to talking about her being mad about this child support. Well, first of all, it's a system that we don't have to participate in. That's first and foremost. So if she's on child support, then that means that her mom, aka the grandmother, filed for help, and she had to name who is the biological parent, which she probably had to name her daughter in order to collect child support. And matter of fact, you'd also have to think with her child support amount, I heard some people say it was like $50. Some people saying it's $75. It's less than $100, right? So she was so mad about less than $100 that she killed her child, is what y'all are telling me. So if a person, if this little small amount of money can make somebody kill a child, because you're going to be responsible for paying $50 a month, $75 a month, you're going to kill the kid, then think about what that's like for people, and this child support system has no cap to it. You know what's funny about that? Is if they say, here's how much you got to pay monthly. You say, you know what? I'm going to go get a better job so I can afford to pay that amount. You know what they could do? Okay, now we're going to raise the bar. You know how they say moving the goalpost? That's essentially what that is. Tell me when I'm wrong. We're still talking about this story, but we're also talking about what this child support system actually does and why it's bad. They just move the goalposts. They just make the amount higher. You go make more money, they go take more money. You go make more money to take care of that, then they just go request more. How is it that you can have somebody who can clearly take care of a child financially, and just because they're a millionaire, you say, you know what? Now you're going to have to pay $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 a month. That makes absolutely no sense. Unless you are a single entity known as marriage and you have to split and dissolve those funds. Then that makes sense. But just because y'all out here plugging each other for a check, which is also babies for benefits, that makes no sense, and it should have a cap on it, because all it's doing is causing us to be more and more irresponsible as a society. Y'all are saying it's $50. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to tell you. How broke was she if you got to resort to murdering your kid for $50 a month? You could just put the crack pipe down. You could just stop. You could just stop shooting up your veins, right? You could just stop taking it up your nose. Is that not an option? Or what are they popping? What, Molly Percocet? Chasing a chick? Mask off? Was she popping Molly's? What? I don't know what type of drug she was into. Like, she looks like a meth head to me. It should have never have gotten to this point. First of all, I continue to say this, and I will say it again. Men under the age of 30 years old should not be made into fathers, and they shouldn't be putting themselves into situations that make them fathers. That's number one. Number two, if a mother is going to have kids, then she should be able to prove that she can financially take care of those kids without anybody's help at all. Or you shouldn't be having the kids. She got 3 kids. She's under the age of 25 years. Let me make sure. How old is she? She's under the age of 25. And I know this is going on a long time, guys, but I got a lot to say. Is that okay? Is it okay for a man and for a father to care about these babies? Is that okay with y'all? I truly hope so. The mother is 22 years old. She's 22. What the fuck does a 22-year-old woman need to have 3 kids for? At 22 years old, after the first one, they should have been like, nope, you're on birth control. Nope, we're going to put you on the depot shot. Right? Somebody should have stepped in and made sure that she can have no more kids, because I can guarantee you she wasn't able to take care of one of those kids, let alone 2, let alone 3. Everybody get what I'm saying? Now let's keep going. If y'all got a problem with anything that I'm saying, that's what the comment section is for. Just type it in there and just tell me what I said that was factually inaccurate.
Is in jail charged with his murder. Leilani Simon facing several charges this morning, from malice murder to false reporting. Officials scoured this landfill for the remains of Quinton Simon for weeks, and we just learned yesterday they believe they found them.
We want to get right out to our Nakaya Carrero, who is live for us this morning. Nakaya, there are just so many emotions tied to this case for everyone involved.
That's right, Emma. Frank, from family members to investigators to people in our community to people outside our community who have watched this story unfold on national news. This morning, Leilani Simon is here sitting behind me at the Chatham County Detention Center awaiting her bond hearing later today. Of course, you'll remember Quinton Simon vanished back on October 5th. Investigators scored the home, the neighborhood, then the waste management landfill site off Little Neck Road. Weeks later, they say they found what they believe to be his remains. During a news conference yesterday, investigators opened up about this heart-wrenching case.
What happened to this 20-month-old child is unthinkable. No child should be harmed by anyone, let alone the person in their lives that should be their protector.
Here's what Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley had to say when asked about the timing of Leilani Simon's arrest.
She doesn't deserve a Thanksgiving, quite frankly, if I can go off script a little bit. Quinton deserves that.
Now, Chief Hadley said he believes they have a very strong case.
I think this is the bond hearing, if I'm not mistaken, so let me play this.
I was Honorable Judge Joe Huffman presiding. Be seated and come to order.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Judge.
All right, make sure my phone is over here. Interrupts with these. A lot of microphones up here. Madam Clerk, we're going to call the first case. I don't need to read through the appearance information since we're going to deal with that case first. If you want to call that case.
Leilani Simon.
And for the record, this is Chatham County Recorder's Court. I'm trying to adjust all the microphones and stuff up here. Chatham County Recorder's Court is Joe Huffman, Judge Pro Tem at the moment, standing in for Chief Judge Tammy Stokes. We're here in the matter of State versus Leilani Simon, CRN 221005004. Ms. Moorhead, are you representing the state in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on behalf of Ms. Simon?
Attorney June Vogel with the Public Defender's Office. I represent the son.
Good morning, counsel. So I see that Ms. Simon is not present on the screen. Are you waiving her presence today?
Presence and formal reading of the charges, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, I'll wait. Well, formal reading of the charges. She is here charged before this court with murder, false report of a crime, false statements, and concealing the death of another. We currently have a court date set before this court on January 11th, 2023 at 2 p.m. Ms. Fogel, are you going to be representing Ms. Simon going forward? Is that your understanding?
Public Defender's Office will be, Your Honor.
Okay.
Also, I understand that by statute, this court does not have jurisdiction to entertain a bond pursuant to 1761.
Yes, OCGA 1761. This court is not authorized to consider the issue of bond for charges, certain enumerated charges, murder being one of them. So you, on behalf of your client, may petition to Superior Court of Chatham County for consideration of bond. This court will not consider bond, don't have the jurisdiction or authority to do so. But I will put down that there's a court hearing set for enter a plea of not guilty to the charges. Correct?
That's correct.
Court hearing January 11th, 2023 at 2 p.m. with those charges indicated. Have you advised Ms. Simon of all the rights that she has pertaining to arraignment?
We've had an in-depth discussion, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Moorhead, anything else I need to consider on this matter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So bond will be, technically bond is denied because I can't consider it, but is there anything else, Ms. Moorhead or Ms. Fogel, I need to consider before moving on?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing comes to attention.
All right.
Bond
So, ladies
denied.
and gentlemen, I literally just came out of here and sat on the bench, but I'm going to take a 7-minute and 20-second break to allow those individuals who do not wish to remain. Now's the time to pack up and leave so I can proceed with the rest of the docket. Thank you.
Thank you. Court adjourned.
Hours, the mother charged with murdering her 1-year-old son is set to appear in a Chatham County court for the first time since her
Morning, Quinton.
Simon was arrested.
Couldn't even believe that a child was missing.
Walking again. A 20-month-old Quinton Simon first went missing. Now, the day after his mother, Leilani Simon, was arrested, they're out walking again.
I think we all knew that she had something to do with it.
Martin has lived in the what she calls quiet neighborhood for 50 years.
I mean, the day of, I couldn't even believe that a child was missing. There was no mother. I mean, I would have been outside screaming, crying, having everybody I know trying to find my child. It was really quiet here. That was strange.
On Monday, police revealed they found what they believe are Quinton's remains at the landfill they've been searching for weeks. The evidence has been sent to a lab now for DNA testing.
We have every reason to believe that this will confirm the remains are Quinton's.
The 22-year-old is charged with malicious murder, concealing deaths, false reporting, and false statements. Her bond hearing is Wednesday. There was a lot of movement at the house on Tuesday, but Martin says Leilani's arrest is another step toward peace for her neighborhood.
My hope and my prayer is that justice is served, and whatever she did, she gets what she deserves, and that this child can be laid to rest.
We're getting new insight on the official charges against her, which include murder. Our Greg Coy joins us now live in the studio with the outcome of Leilani's first court hearing today. Hey, Greg.
Marvis, good evening. Leilani Simon was not in the courtroom for the hearing this morning. A judge did set a preliminary hearing. Now, it's scheduled for January 11th of next year, January 11th, 2023. And at that preliminary hearing, the state will have the opportunity to share some of the facts of the case and explain why there was probable cause for an arrest. Police believe that they found Quinton Simon's remains pending the results of DNA testing. Leilani Simon was arrested Monday afternoon and booked into the Chatham County Detention Center, Marvis.
And Greg, are police talking about any other persons of interest maybe involved in this case?
Police said at their news conference on Monday that they do not anticipate any other arrests in this case, but if that changes, of course, we'll let you know.
Let's pause right there. Let me give you guys my closing thoughts. That's the biological father, by the way. Y'all are saying that he lives in Atlanta. I haven't heard much from him at all, but y'all are saying that's the biological father. So I want to be on record, and I want to say this. Based on what I believe to be correct information, that the grandmother had custody and she let the daughter be around the kids or have access to the kids to the point to where grandma wasn't supervising, wasn't around them, and then the baby ended up missing, dead, and found in a landfill. I believe that there should be some charges for the grandmother putting those children, or at least this child, in that position. I think that should be an arrestable offense, and I think that she needs to do some time in prison also for causing this. I don't really know how much time. I'd say a couple of years, maybe 5 years max, maybe. I don't really know what the proper. Not looking at any judgment for her for putting this child in danger based on what we understand. As far as the mom, she should have never been around this kid. There is no excuse for whatever reason it caused her to do this. She should have got her life together, and she absolutely shouldn't have had any children at all. Hashtag TTO. This woman should have never been born with ovaries. Is that harsh of me to say? I honestly don't believe so, and anybody familiar with this story will probably concur and agree with what I just said, that she should have never been a parent. She should have never been allowed around these kids. And dad, if he's the father of all three of them kids, should have probably stopped after one. I'm sure you knew something was wrong with this girl, okay? So we got to start having accountability all the way around, all right? But I'm pretty sure that this is going to come out. It's going to be confirmed. We're probably not going to do an update that this is the little boy that was found. So let's wish him an RIP, because we're pretty sure that that is absolutely Quinton Simon, that they had to look through 1.2 million pounds of trash for an entire 30 days. People should not be subjected to that just because some... God, I want to say so much stuff that'll get me flagged. Just because this stupid individual didn't want to be a parent and didn't want any responsibility. Okay? She needs maximum time in prison. There is no type of what do you call it? You can't fix a person like this. I don't know the term for it. But life in prison, maybe even need to get the death penalty. But we'll find out what happens. We'll probably do an update on the final sentencing. But thank you guys so much. Continue to share these stories. Run these views up. Share them. Leave comments. We want to make sure that everybody in the world knows about Quinton Simon, because that little prince deserved an opportunity to grow up and become something great. So let me get his face back up. I'm going to get the mom's silly little face off my screen. Young Prince. R.I.P. There's no rehabilitation. You can't fix stupid. Thank you so much. But make sure you guys leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to the AFC podcast, because this is what we talk about all the time. This is what's important. Thank you.